Wake Up America. Welcome Americans and fellow viewers to Wake Up America. We are here to discuss the issues of American future living with the Islamic Muslim society. As you know, they are trying to build mosques throughout the United States of America. They are even trying to incorporate their own court system, which all separate them from the rest of America judicial laws. We live united and will not accept division from those who try to destroy our ethics, our beliefs, and our freedom that we have lived and died for, to build up over the country's past. There has been a lot of controversy about President Obama's religious beliefs. Is he really a Muslim? Is he really with us or against us? I'm from the Middle East, and I have lived with Islamic Muslim believers, which is not a lifestyle any human being should endure. We all must stand together to fight against the conversion of Islamic Muslim religion here in the United States of America. We have to remember, America is a Christian nation. It will never be a Muslim nation, because America is based on Christianity, not in Islamic beliefs, not in Sharia law. Today, I got honored to get Anthony Tolda. Anthony Tolda is my guest speaker. Anthony Tolda is a financial consultant from New York. He is a self-educated man, or self-learned, as America's founding fathers would call it. After September 11, Anthony wanted to know more about Islam and began to read Quran. After Barack Hussein Obama got elected, he further studied radical Islam and its recent effects on the Western world. Anthony Tolda is very well educated in different areas, in finance, in the United States Constitution, and radical Islam. This makes him a very unique and powerful candidate for U.S. Congress. And being in New York, that makes his knowledge even more important in today's world. Really, I got honored to have you, Anthony Tolda, today in our program, Wake Up America, which is focused on the American mentality and American society. How are you doing, Anthony?
I'm excellent, Karam. It's great to be on the show.
Yes, well, as you, American, you're born here in America. Today we have a lot of issues to discuss about what's going on now in America, because really I feel that as a person or as a man, I born in the Middle East, America really is under attack. Because your people as Americans, they have lack of knowledge about Islam. What do you think about it?
Well, that's true. I mean, a lot of Americans are just starting to pay attention to what's going on in America. And, you know, the idea of that compared to what's going on in the rest of the world, even a smaller percentage of Americans are paying attention to what's going on in countries that are dominated by Islam, or Western countries that are in a struggle to preserve their freedom that's being diminished by, infiltration, invasion, if you will, by people that practice radical Islam. And it's not that all Muslims are bad, but you're going to get a certain percentage of radicals in the mix when you have mass immigration.
Really, I was shocked when I found here in the American media a lot of Muslims, they praying in the streets. Because in the Middle East, Muslims also, they do their own ritual praying in the streets. But they don't give us as Christians a right to build a church or to reconstruct a church. It's hard to get a permission to build a church in Egypt. So here, a lot of Muslims, they do and they practice their prayings in the streets in New York. They should be arrested. They should be ticketed. Otherwise, the police, they are protecting them. They are standing so close to them. And I don't know, as a person or as a man, I born in the Middle East, I was shocked. What's your point of view, Anthony, about that?
Well, I mean, are you referring to people blocking traffic to pray? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, because otherwise they block the streets. So they should be ticketed or should be arrested from the American police.
I mean, if it's blocking street traffic, then that's a hazard. I mean, we have jaywalking laws on the books, so, you know, you can't just block traffic for no reason. If it's, you know, one person and, you know, taking up a small amount of the sidewalk, that's a totally different story. But if you're talking about, you know, dozens of people blocking street traffic, that's a whole nother issue altogether, and I don't believe that ought to be allowed.
Yeah, well, Americans, they will never forget what happened exactly in September 11. Because all Americans, they have been shocked because they trusted so much in the American government. 3,000 Americans, they lost their lives.
Right, and a large reason we were left open to that attack was because under the Clinton administration, they did away with what was called the Federal Air Marshals Program, which after September 11th was reinstated.
I want to tell you about my experience about living in the Middle East.
The Marshals Program should never have been abandoned without the private industry replacing it in some manner. Number one, so the Clinton administration had made a mistake, and the private industry made a mistake, and the Bush administration made a mistake not reinstating the program before the 9/11 attacks, as opposed to after.
As my personal perspective, how I lived, or through my experience in the Middle East, Muslims really are single-minded. They have been brainwashed. The Americans here, they don't know about sheikhs or Islams, what they are teaching Muslims inside mosques here. What they tell them exactly, we have been ordered for brainwashed. That means as an American, you're born here in America, male or female, Muslims, they have been ordered in Quran to wash your brain, to convert you to be a Muslim. Because otherwise, if you're going to be converted in a Muslim, you will go to paradise. And even many Americans here, they don't know any about Islamic Sharia. So even Muslims, they want to implement their Islamic Sharia in American courts here. So I want your point of view about that, Anthony.
Well, the people that promote Sharia law, most of them, if not all of them, they want Sharia law to be a global law that is the supreme law, meaning they seek to put Sharia law above the Constitution. And if you're a person that seeks to establish a law above our Constitution, you are therefore an enemy of the Constitution.
Well, for the what's happened and
to defend our Constitution from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. So my thinking is that any elected official that is not kicking and screaming and trying to find a legal way to shut these mosques at ground zero down without trampling the Constitution, they are either one, negligent in defending the Constitution, negligent in their oath, or they are two, even worse, they are a potential accomplice to this treason, to this sedition, to this mentality of undermining our Constitution to prop up Sharia law. And the Constitution protects religious freedoms, that is true, but it does not allow for the very principles of freedom to be used in order to dismantle freedom itself. And that is why Thomas Mann said that, that tolerance, when applied to evil, becomes a crime. Because in this case, tolerance of Sharia becoming above our Constitution becomes a crime, because it is treason for somebody to willingly be an accomplice to this, and it is negligence for somebody to not understand and to not defend their Constitution, because that is the oath that they take, to defend this Constitution and defend America from all enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Islam or Muslims here, they are the minority of the American society. 6 million people, they live here in America in all states. This is the last statistics was written in New York Times here in America. 6 million Muslims, they live on American soil. But Islam wanted to reconstruct the Twin Tower site into a mosque ritual site. But they fail to understand that this is a site of a memorial for those who has lost their lives. How could people of that nature think to desecrate this location for their own beliefs, which are not American beliefs? Should the dead be defiled in such a way that their innocent souls be lost for nothing? Because Muslims want to build up their own religion in America. What happened exactly in September 11, Muhammad Atta, he born in Egypt. This guy, he's very fanatic, radical Muslim. He born in Egypt. He got his education here in America. So he and another 18 hijackers, they crashed the World Trade Center in September 11. These people that are Muslims, they read Quran every day. They go to the mosque and they read Quran. Through the internet, they got relationship with Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda organization. All Americans, they know that Osama bin Laden is the responsible or the first guy in Al-Qaeda organization. And there is a second guy, his assistant or right hand, Dr. Ayman al-Zawahiri. Dr. Ayman al-Zawahiri, this guy born in Egypt, he studied in the School of Medicine, School of Dentistry, to be a dentist. So he ran away from Egypt because he has been arrested from the Egyptian government, Egyptian police, because he planned to assassinate the President Muhammad Anwar Sadat in Egypt, because he got his assassination in October 6, 1981. So he ran from Egypt, he went to Sudan, from Sudan he is living now in Pakistan. Osama bin Laden, through the internet, he sent a lot of messages, is warning all of his Americans. He said that, well, we are people as Muslims, we love the life, but you as Americans, as people, Muslims, very fanatic Muslims, we love to die, we love this, but you as Americans, you love the life. So what happened exactly? In the day before they crashed World Trade Center, Muhammad Atta and his 18 hijackers, they were spending a nice time in one of the bars in Manhattan, and they were watching a magazine, Playboy magazines, sexual magazines. Why? Because it's written in Quran that when they're gonna be killed the others, in the name of Allah, they will go to paradise and they will have sexual relationships, different diversity, different relationships with virgin woman, 72 virgin woman in the paradise, and all of them, they are virgin. So Muhammad Atta and his colleagues at that time, they were thinking a lot about women, the virgin woman in paradise. That's why they have been convinced from Ayman al-Zawahiri and Osama bin Laden to crash this building, the World Trade Center. Now, I will let you watch the first video clip, because as a guy, I born in the Middle East, this idea, this scene, this story, I will never forget it. Never forever forget it. Because Americans here, they got shocked. And also I got shocked. I didn't even believe one day it will happen in America like that. Let us see the first video clip about World Trade Center attacks with 19 hijackers who crashed the World Trade Center in America in 2001.
We're looking at financial center. Two us, two broken windows.
remember this statement, which I call it from Martin Luther. No one can ride your back until you bend down. Remember Martin Luther, he was fighting for the African American here against discrimination. Remember 3,000 dead and 24 missing from September 11. And now add private loan to the list. Obama has already agreed to build or reconstruct a mosque at ground zero. But when I was watching his interview at the time of his election, he said that maybe I am not American citizen. Some people said that, or maybe I got a forged birth certificate. It is true. I'm not American citizen. I was not in Iowa. I was not born in the United States of America. I come from Kenya. So he came from Kenya. He born in Kenya, not in the United States of America. A lot of people thought that my election has proved as testimony. In November 21, 2008, Kenyan ambassador announcing that and admits that Obama born in Kenya. So Obama did not born in the United States of America. Obama born in Kenya. His grandmother still alive in Kenya. I was really shocked when I was reading the American Constitution, Article number 2, the second one. Section 1st, Article number 2, United States Constitution. No person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of President, neither shall any person be eligible to the office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and being 14 years a resident within the United States. I'm asking you, Anthony, Obama, he did not even born here in the United States of America. He born in Kenya. How your people here as Americans, they elected him? Does he have a forged birth certificate? Does Obama is a dream or nightmare? Tell us, Anthony, please.
Well, a couple things. He doesn't have a forged birth certificate. He has a forged certificate of live birth, which is not a valid legal document. And when you look at the part where it says his father's race on the forged certificate of live birth, it says that he is African, when at the time any document would have wrote Negro. But because the people forged the document and they are not thinking the way people thought back then, and they were not filling out the document the way it would have been filled out back then, they made a mistake, which in part further proves the fact that the document is a fraud, because they wrote African at a time where it would have been proper on any legal document where they would have written Negro. I attended a civilian's pettit trial in Harlem, New York. In fact, my picture, it was taken outside of this trial when a woman was screaming in my face.
Yeah. James Smith
proved at this trial, they found Obama, the CIA, and Columbia University guilty on 17 different counts, including sedition, wire fraud, mail fraud, obstruction of justice, and this trial is constitutionally binding, but the problem lies with enforcing the findings of the trial. So Congress and the Senate are going to be served with papers that show the findings of the trial, show the transcripts of the trial, and an effort is going to be made to have Congress and the Senate investigate this matter.
Also, I remember James Orengo, the Kenyan lawmaker, states Obama born here, which is in Kenya. Barack Obama, he is very highly educated man. You consider him here, he is very highly educated man. What about his birth certificate? Is that easy for him to mislead, to mess around with his birth certificate? That means it's so easy because he was a lawyer and very famous here to even have a true one of birth certificate. I don't know, I'm asking you.
Well, it's not a birth certificate, and at the trial I was at, a woman named Mickey Booth came and she testified. She lives in Oklahoma now, and she used to live in Hawaii. Her husband was born in Hawaii in 1961, which is the same year Barack Hussein Obama, also known as Barry Soetoro, claims to be born. Mickey testified and brought her husband's long-form birth certificate and said if Barack Hussein Obama was legitimately born in Hawaii, he would be able to provide a birth certificate, a long-form birth certificate that looks exactly like this, and she showed us what the valid birth certificate would look like if...
Well, I remember also Maya is half-sister.
Is a clear forgery for many different reasons, one being that it does not have the same legal standing as an official birth certificate has, and two, being that mistake they made while forging it, that they wrote in African instead of Negro. And at the time, African was never written on these documents. Negro was always written because the terms were different back then. So, you know, Obama is a fraud. I do not believe he was born in the United States. I believe he was born in Kenya. But even if they were able to provide proof that he was born here, which they can't, but if they did, when he went to Indonesia with his stepfather as a child, he enrolled in school in Indonesia. And at the time, Indonesia did not provide for dual citizenship. So they did not allow people that were not Indonesian citizens to attend school there either. There's a document on record that says that his legal name is Barry Soetoro, his religion is Islam, and his nation of origin, of citizenship, is Indonesia. So in order for someone to uphold their natural-born citizenship status, they must never, ever have dual citizenship or any other citizenship ever. So because he did that, even if he did qualify originally, which he didn't, any qualification would have been null and void as a result of that document. And furthermore, when he came back to America, if he came back legitimately, there would have been documentation that he came back to America, and he would have had to legally change his name back to Barack Hussein Obama Jr. So theoretically, without documentation, and if there is no documentation, his legal name is Barry Soetoro, which is why people believe that he gave up his license to practice law because he perjured.
Yeah. Well, his sister, half-sister Maya, his half-sister, his half-sister Maya, was interviewed, and she said that he born in one of the hospitals in Ohio. In another program, Obama, in another interview, he said that he was born in Hawaii. That means two different places. When you tell the truth, everything is the same. But when you tell the lie, lie is a lie. So he lied. He's a liar or what? And as you said right now, when he went to school in Indonesia when he was a child, his religion was a Muslim. Because even Obama, when he went to Egypt, when he gave a speech to the Muslims there at Cairo University, 2009, June 2009, he was reciting a lot of Quranic verses in front of the Muslim community.
Yes, and he said that he wanted to make it easier for Muslims to practice something called zakat in America. And zakat is charitable giving. And one of the ways that this charitable giving is split up is that they give money to fund the Muslim, the Islamic army.
From my personal perspective, Obama, he cannot be a president of the United States of America. Obama is not producing his documents. And if he is not producing, that means he is total a fraud. He is a phony. So he should be arrested and deported out of the United States.
Yes.
So how the American are thinking now about their president Obama, because he gave them a lot of promises, and now he gave them a permission. He gave them a permission for Muslims here, and he said that they have right to practice their ritual praying in Manhattan and New York, so close to ground zero. On the other hand, on the other side, 3,000 people, they lost their lives. How? That means Obama, you don't have soul, you don't have respect, you don't have values for people. They lost their lives or what? I don't know. We have to put in our constitution that all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power are declared to be citizens of the United States. This is, I got it from American Constitution. Barack Obama's father was not American citizen. Barack Obama's father, he came from Kenya. He born in Kenya. So how come Americans here, they elected him to be a president of the United States? Is that because he's a good speaker? He can influence over the others. People, they can listen to him. He's charismatic once he is talking to Americans, or what? Tell me, Anthony, please.
Well, because a common misconception is that they say he's the first black president and that history was made and all of these things. But the truth is, his father is 7/8 Arab and only 1/8 black. And because of his location and because of however his genes worked out, his father appears to be a very black man. Where, Barack Obama, then, when you break...
Yeah. Well,
he would be 1/60 blacks. Fraud on all Americans, and it's a fraud on black America because he's less black than anything else.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Obama, even Mr. Obama himself said that I cannot hold the office of president of this United States legally. That means he cannot be illegal to be president of the United States. He stated that himself.
Well, he stated that in a debate with Alan Keyes when he was going for his Senate seat, and Alan Keyes had attacked him for not being an American, and then Obama turned around and said, so what? I'm running for Senate, I'm not running for president. So yes, in his own words at one point, he did admit to being ineligible.
Well, what I feel really, America is under attack. I'm telling you, Americans now, you have to wake up, because really, America's under attack. People in the Muslim countries, they hate you. After September 11, the image of America is totally tarnished. A lot of people, a lot of journalists, a lot of newspapers, they write against you. They write against your government. So a lot of Arab people, Arabs, they hate you. They don't love you. Why? Because you have right to practice your own freedom in America. Really, you have to know how Muslims, they think about you. Well, I will let the viewers to watch the following video clip when Obama admits he is a Muslim. He's not a Christian. Obama is a Muslim. Let us watch his video clip, and then we will carry on in our talking.
Assalamu alaikum. Many other Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them. But my father came from a Kenyan family that includes generations of Muslims. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
You are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith.
As the Holy Quran tells us, the Holy Quran teaches that, the Holy Quran tells us, and the Holy Quran also says, we will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world. I would like to speak directly to the people and leaders of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Their great and celebrated culture. Over many centuries, your art, your music, literature, and innovation have made the world a better and more beautiful place. We know that you are a great civilization, and your accomplishments have earned the respect of the United States and the world. I also know civilization's debt to Islam. It was Islam at places like Uluzada that carried the light of learning through so many centuries, paving the way for Europe's Renaissance and Enlightenment. It was innovation in Muslim communities that developed the order of algebra, our magnetic compass and tools of navigation, our mastery of pens and printing, our understanding of how disease spreads and how it can be healed. Islamic culture has given us majestic arches and soaring spires, timeless poetry and cherished music, elegant calligraphy, and places of peaceful contemplation. They have fought in our wars, they have served in our government, they have stood for civil rights, they have started businesses, they have taught at our universities, they have excelled in our sports arenas, they've won Nobel Prizes, built our tallest building, and lit the Olympic torch. And when the first Muslim American was recently elected to Congress, he took the oath to defend our Constitution using the same Holy Quran. In ancient times and in our times, Muslim communities have been at the forefront of innovation and education. Islam is not part of the problem in combating violent extremism. It is an important part of promoting peace. The enduring faith of over 1 billion people is so much bigger than the narrow hatred of a few. In the United States, rules on charitable giving have made it harder for Muslims to fulfill their religious obligation. That's why I'm committed to working with American Muslims to ensure that they can fulfill zakat. It is important for Western countries to avoid impeding Muslim citizens from practicing religion as they see fit. And I consider it part of my responsibility as President of the United States to fight against negative stereotypes of Islam wherever they appear. We are no longer a Christian nation. We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation. The United States has been enriched by Muslim Americans. Since our founding, American Muslims have enriched the United States. Islam has always been a part of America's story. There is a mosque in every state in our union, and over 1,200 mosques within our borders. One of the points I want to make is that if you actually took the number of Muslims Americans, we'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. Let there be no doubt, Islam is a part of America.
he did bow to the Muslim king, while he did not do it to the British Queen of England. And by bowing, he showed the world that I am subservient. I do bow down to you as a Muslim king, something no other president has done with Saudi Arabia. The Saudi king is his peer. He is not his subordinate in order to bow for him, and this is exactly what Obama did. Usually it is out of respect that someone would nod his head when bowing to royalty, and the ladies will give curtsy. But Obama went beyond what is required as a head of state and bowed to the Saudi king, and that's unacceptable. It sent the wrong symbol.
When you say it sends the wrong signal, what signal do you think it sends?
It sent a message that Islam is superior to any other master or king or president in the world. That an American president bowed to a Muslim king. It also sent a message that terrorism and jihadism is giving Islam the respect it should have on the world stage, to the point that it made an American president, for the first time in history, bow to a Muslim king.
Presidential candidate Barack Obama is trying to change political fashion. He gave a speech in Iowa City today, and he wasn't wearing an American flag pin. Those pins have become synonymous with politicians since 9/11. Obama says he doesn't like how the pin has come to represent patriotism in America.
I won't wear that pin on my chest.
It's a little weird, Alan, that in the middle of the campaign, the guy takes off the American flag that most people wear because they're proud of their country.
Let me speak as clearly and as plainly as I can. America is not and never will be at war with Islam. Thank you. And Eid Shoma Mubarak.
I am one of them. America is not anymore, no longer Christian nation. Is that what he said? President of the United States of America, Barack Hussein Obama. Americans, are you tired of being lied to? Are you tired of being smeared? Are you tired of getting off pocket pet? They approved this mosque 29-1, and they said this mosque leader say they believe in tolerance. I want to ask you as Americans, how many of you have read Quran? None. Do you know that in Quran there is 111 Quranic verses to kill non-believers, to kill infidels, so they consider you infidels, non-believers. In 29:9, Surah At-Tawbah, kill those who do not believe in Allah, nor in the latter day. Who do not believe in Allah? You as Americans. So, when you're going to be killed by a Muslim, in the name of Allah, they will go to paradise. Did you know that? No. The mayor of the community board of New York, did he read the book for Faisal Abdul Rauf, the imam who want to restructure or rebuild a mosque at ground zero? No. What's written in this book? That he wanted to implement Islamic Sharia, Islamic law in America, which denies the freedom of speech in America. If you are a Muslim and you leave Islam, you will be killed. Did any of you as Americans have read Quran? No. Did any of the New Yorkers have read Quran or have read this book for Faisal, Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf? No. Faisal Abdul Rauf is on record in favor of bringing Islamic law, Islamic Sharia to the United States of America.